I'm Alison, and hello to everyone from the Open the Book Assembly team.
Hello.
Hi everybody.
We're from your local churches.
I'm Caroline. Hi, this is our Easter Assembly, and the Frampton and Winterbourne team have combined together. So friends are important to us, aren't they? Jesus had 12 special friends, which the Bible calls his disciples. And together they have amazing and happy times, but also some very sad times. Peter was one of Jesus's special friends, and in today's story, we see that Peter let Jesus down. But that's not the end of the story.
Let's open the book. Peter was worried. Peter was upset. Jesus had told his friends that he was going to be taken away by his enemies and killed. Jesus said to them,
"You will all run away and leave me."
"No, I will never leave you. I would go to prison or even die for you."
But Jesus shook his head sadly.
"Oh, Peter, this will all happen tonight. Before you hear the cock crow in the morning, you will have said 1, 2, 3 times that you do not even know me."
They walked to a garden. It was very late. Jesus knelt down to pray, but his friends all fell asleep. Suddenly, soldiers surrounded them. They had come to arrest Jesus. The friends woke up, confused and very frightened. Quickly, they all ran away, just as Jesus had said they would. Peter was frightened too, but he secretly followed the soldiers to see where they were taking Jesus. The soldiers took Jesus to the house of the high priest. The high priest was an enemy of Jesus. Some people had lit a fire to keep warm. Peter went over and tried to warm his hands. He was hoping that no one would notice. But a little servant girl saw him.
You were with Jesus.
Peter was frightened and blurted out,
"No, I wasn't."
but the girl said even louder so that everyone could hear,
This man was in the garden with Jesus.
Peter was very frightened now. People were looking at him.
"No, I don't even know what you're talking about."
But another man said,
"Oh, he's from Galilee too, just like Jesus. I can tell just by the way he talks."
Peter was angry now.
"I keep telling you, I do not know him."
Just at that moment, a cock crowed. It was nearly morning. Peter remembered what Jesus had said. Then the soldiers brought Jesus outside. Jesus looked at Peter sadly. Peter turned away and began to cry. He saw the soldiers hitting Jesus. He saw them push a crown of sharp thorns onto Jesus' head. He heard them all laugh at Jesus. But Peter didn't laugh. He was so sorry that he'd let Jesus down. He was so ashamed that he'd failed Jesus. He watched the soldiers take Jesus away to a hill outside the city. He watched the soldiers hang Jesus up on a cross. He watched Jesus die. Peter was very sad. He didn't understand that Jesus died to take away all the bad things that he and everyone else had done. He just knew that his best friend was dead. It was Peter's saddest day. It was a lovely spring morning. Outside, the birds were singing and the sun was shining. But inside, Peter and his friends felt dark and gloomy. It was now 3 days since Jesus had died on that horrible cross. They all felt very sad and very sorry because they hadn't done anything to help him. They were also afraid to go outside because the people who had killed Jesus might be looking for them too. Suddenly, they heard footsteps outside. Then there was a gentle knock on the door.
Who is it?
Who is it?
It's me, Mary Magdalene.
So they opened the door. Mary was a special friend of Jesus too. Early that morning, she had gone with the other women to visit the place where Jesus had been buried. Now she had something very strange to tell them.
His body has been taken from the tomb. The stone has been moved and the tomb is empty. We don't know where it's gone.
Peter and John wanted to see for themselves, so they hurried off as fast as they could until they came to the cave where Jesus' body had been put. John got there first. He bent down and peeped inside.
All I can see are the strips of cloth that were all wrapped around Jesus.
Peter went right into the cave to see for himself.
Everything has been folded. It's folded up neatly. But Jesus is definitely not here.
It was all very strange. They walked slowly back to tell the others at the house. Nobody knew what to do. Then suddenly, Jesus was in the room with them. Jesus, their friend. He was alive. He showed them the marks from the cross on his hands and feet. They were overjoyed. But somehow, deep inside, Peter didn't feel happy. He kept thinking how he had let Jesus down, how he had pretended he hadn't known him 1, 2, 3 times. The friends decided to go back home to Galilee. But Peter still didn't feel happy, not even when they went fishing, just like in the old days. Then suddenly it happened again. Jesus was there on the seashore.
Oh, it's Jesus!
Peter was so excited that he jumped out of the boat and splashed his way to Jesus. Jesus cooked them all a barbecue breakfast, and when they were all munching happily, he spoke quietly to Peter.
Peter, are you my friend?
Yes, you know I am.
Then Jesus asked the same thing a second time.
Peter, are you my friend?
Peter thought that this was a bit strange.
Of course I am.
It was only when Jesus asked for a third time,
Peter, are you really my friend?
that he realized what Jesus was doing. Jesus was giving him the chance to put right what he had done wrong. 1, 2, 3 times he had let Jesus down. Now, 1, 2, 3 times he could put that right. Peter looked straight at Jesus and said,
You know everything about me. You know I'm your friend, Jesus. You're my best friend.
From that happy day, no matter what happened, Peter knew that he would always be Jesus' friend.
What Peter thought was his saddest day eventually turned out to be his happiest, didn't it? Jesus was alive. He knew just how to put things right with Peter and how to make his friends feel better. Christians believe that Jesus died on the cross and rose again to life so that everyone might be forgiven for their mistakes and have a fresh start.
Sometimes friends can do things that hurt us and we can feel let down. This story shows us that it's good to forgive our friends when they're sorry. Close your eyes and think about any friendships that might need mending today.
Now I'm going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, say Amen at the end. Dear God, thank you for Easter Day and the Easter message of forgiveness, love, and fresh starts. Thank you for our friends and for the fun we have together. Please forgive us when we let our friends down. Help us to say sorry to them and put things right when things go wrong. Please help us to use words to our friends that are good and kind, and not to say things that are hurtful or unkind. Amen.
Right, are you ready? Yeah. I like this one.
Jesus is my savior, Jesus is my friend. On the way to school and home with me again. Helping with my homework, with me when I play. Jesus is my real friend every single day. I do-do-do, love him more and more. I do-do-do, in my heart for sure. I do-do-do, wanna shout and sing. Jesus is my savior, Lord of everything. Jesus is my savior, Jesus is my friend. On the way to school and home with me again. Helping with my homework, with me when I play. Jesus is my real friend every single day. I do-do-do, love him more and more. I do-do-do, in my heart for sure. I do-do-do, wanna shout and sing. Jesus is my savior, Lord of everything.
I really like that one. I like it.